My name is Dane, and I'm from Canton, Georgia.
My name is Alexis, and I'm from Calhoun, Georgia.
My name is Abbey, and I am from Greenville, South Carolina.
First name is Hamilton, and I'm originally from West Monroe, Louisiana.
The residency experience to me is the perfect blend of practical ministry and seminary experience.
To me, the residency is the perfect sandbox for ministry leadership. You get to come in, you get the education. At the same time, you get to translate what you're learning and turn it into real life ministry applications, beautiful, messy ministry applications.
You get this opportunity before the demands of full-time ministry, before you're in a full-time job, to get to actually invest in yourself.
2 years of just intensive growth in your knowledge of God and of yourself and of ministry.
Yeah, so it's almost difficult to describe a typical week because I feel like my week was always different. One day I could be wearing a crazy costume and hosting on stage, or another I could be like sitting down with a middle schooler talking about baptism and salvation.
And I got to work with all kinds of adults going through all stages of life. And then one day I got confetti thrown on me and I ended up in the elementary department, what we call Upstreet here.
So the first year I was focusing on music and things like production-wise. I was learning how to produce. I was doing that side of things. And then my second year I moved into more of the hosting side of things, the booking people, the paying people, all of that.
At first I was placed at East Cobb Church, which is a kind of set up, tear down startup of a church. And so I would sit in on meetings with high level leadership and be able to speak into content and guest experience. And I called it Christian CrossFit because every Sunday I'd burn about 2,000 calories setting up and tearing down, but it was such a beautiful season of ministry.
It looked like planning games. Sometimes we built tricycles and rode them around the church for hours. It was always very different, but it was great.
There were rhythms involved, team meetings. I always had class on Thursday and I loved that. It was fast paced, I was juggling a lot, but I will always look back at that time and be so grateful for it.
It changed my life in the best way possible. I didn't know that I needed to go into Upstreet and to experience a childlike joy that I'd never had for myself as an adult.
My favorite thing about being a resident was my cohort and the leaders that were involved in the residency program.
My favorite thing was probably just the amount of people that were so willing to just talk with you and have conversations with you and pour into you, and I felt so loved and supported.
I met some of my best friends. I mean, this program brought me friends that I never knew existed and I never knew I needed. Got to do life alongside people that I'll cherish forever.
I got a couple years set aside to specifically grow. I felt like I was coming out of this really fast-paced season in college, and little did I know it, but I was about to enter a really fast-paced season in full-time ministry. And those 2 years were really specifically for me to say, hey, how do I want to grow, and how does God want to prepare me for the next chapter of my life?
God has used the residency program to change my life by taking someone that never considered vocational ministry into someone that has not only confidence to be able to do that, but has a reason to wake up in the morning and do it.
I think coming into the residency, I felt like I had a lot of things together. The biggest thing that I learned through the whole 2 years was how much I needed to rely on God. Moving away from family and friends, doing things that were really difficult, talking about things that were really difficult. The way I had to trust God and that He was going to take care of me it felt impossible.
The residency brought me an understanding of who I am as a child of God that I didn't have before. The experience as a whole shaped me and has changed the trajectory of my life. That's all thanks to this experience, thanks to this program.
It just created a space for God to do the work in me that needed to be done, that I didn't even know needed to be done.
If you're on the fence about whether to apply for the residency or go into ministry full-time, I'd say go all in. I mean, you get the educational piece of seminary, you get practical experience with leaders all around our organization.
I don't know that there's a better next step. I don't think there is. Because you actually get this dedicated time to invest in yourself, but then also you get a group of amazing people to do it with. You're not trying to figure out school, you're not trying to figure out ministry by yourself. You have other people in the same exact season asking the same exact questions, and you're doing life with them.
Just jump and then ask questions later. Just go ahead and do it. Jump. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I have absolutely no regrets looking back, and I'm confident that you won't either.
Talk to Jesus and then make a decision. God can do a lot with our yes, and this can be a really scary thing to step into, but I think that the Lord will do a lot with your yes. He did a lot with my yes and my willingness, and I've seen him do it with a lot of other people's as well.